Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of Super Tuesday on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll be right back with this week's Super Tuesday guest, but we're going to give a shout out to our sponsors. I know that's a shock to our regular listeners. Please stay with us and listen to these shout outs. It only takes about 3 minutes. You've heard me say many times before, these are all companies that I used as an athletic director. They're all great companies, provide a great service, and I highly recommend them to you. So here we go. Please stay with us. We want to say thanks to our friends at Home Campus for their support. You've heard me say before, Home Campus is a platform that you're going to use every single day, whether it's scheduling, rosters, scores, communication, or their athletic eligibility and clearance platform. That alone is worth the cost of the platform. Go to homecampus.com. Mention the podcast, they'll give you a nice discount. That's homecampus.com. We want to thank Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo to see their score tables and their score boards in action. Probably one of the best purchases I ever made was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. That's sidelineinteractive.com. We want to say thanks to our friends at Gipper. You know, your students are on social media, and if they're not seeing content that celebrates their accomplishments and also promotes your program, you're missing out on a great opportunity. Gipper's used and trusted by over 4,000 high school and college programs across the country. It's professional graphic design made simple. Go to Gipper.com. And once again, mention the podcast. That's Gipper.com. We want to thank Ohio University and their online master's in athletic administration. Now, I didn't get my master's from Ohio, but my assistant athletic director did, along with thousands of others. And it's a great, great program, very reasonably priced, just 20 months, totally online. And while you're completing your master's degree, you're also getting 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. Go to ohio.edu/info/MAA. The Ohio University Online Masters in Athletic Administration. We'd like to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards for all the teams, for all the events, or show off your school's Hall of Fame, go to Vital Signs Wall of Fame and take a look at their interactive touchscreen video consoles. It's also a great way to share your school's unique history and brag about your proudest moments. The website is vitalsignswalloffame.com. Check them out today. We'd also like to say thank you to Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years. As an AD, we were a Huddle school, and our coaches, our student athletes, and our parents just loved the platform, and so will you. Go to huddle.com, join the 8 million users. Turn your school into a Huddle school. We'd like to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. You know, athletic directors already get feedback, but typically it's from a very small group that just wants to gripe. Athletic Surveys will connect you to that group, but they're also going to connect you to the 98% of your stakeholders that support your program. And having that data to share is crucial when you're talking to a frustrated parent, or maybe your principal, or even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. That's athleticsurveys.com. We want to say thank you to Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. I don't think I need to say anything more. Go to hometownticketing.com. It's digital ticketing that offers more. And we want to thank Snap Raise. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and then been disappointed in the results? Those days are gone. Go to snapraise.com. It's hands down the best online fundraiser out there. We used it at our school with great success. Coaches loved it. Parents loved it because it works. Go to snapraise.com. Check out their other great platforms. But if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it. Go to snapraise.com. Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of Super Tuesday, part of our Tech Tuesday series on the Educational AD Podcast. We've got one of our regulars back with us this week, Dr. Troy Urdahl. Regular listeners will certainly recognize that name. Troy's a certified master athletic administrator. He's a longtime athletic director and baseball coach for St. Anthony Village High School. That's in St. Anthony Village, Minnesota. Also, a very successful author. His book, Chasing Influence. If it's not in your library, you need to get your own copy. Get copies for your coaching staff too. Tremendous book. And we've got him back here on Super Tuesday. Troy, welcome back.
It's great to see you, Jake. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's that time. It's after the national conference. You know, the winter months are here. We're hoping for spring is right around the corner. But it's still a very busy time for athletic directors. We appreciate you sharing time. You and I have talked a lot in the past. I think a lot of ADs, we all talk about being intentional and having a purpose, but I've known you for a while, and you really bring this to life in your program. Can you share with our listeners, kind of what that means, being purposeful, and maybe how they can do a better job of it?
Yeah, it's been a life changer for me, without question, both personally and professionally. And we're born without an owner's manual, right? We all come into the world, batteries not included. But what purpose means for me is purpose is what provides the batteries that we need to move from good work to great influence. And that purpose for me is that I serve to use the power school activities to make the world a better place. And I work alongside others to fulfill their purpose. And that's why I'm always excited by an opportunity to talk to other people about what purpose really means and how it can make a difference. Because I truly believe that through high school sports and activities that we can make the world a better place, and that we are the ultimate laboratory for learning, and how well we complement the traditional classroom, but we can provide lessons that can't be taught in that traditional classroom. So in my perfect world, we have a committed team of coaches who operate from purpose and make this happen, to make the lives of those that we serve and our communities better.
Yeah, again, we've talked before, and you just did, coaches will say, well, my classroom is the field, my classroom is the gym, and it's absolutely true. And, educators now, teachers, and let's say professionals in, let's say, the business world, where they never would have dreamed of, calling themselves a coach. Now they've kind of co-opted that, and you have life coaches and business coaches, but education especially, there's fads and trends and the latest shiny new toy, and a lot of them are here and gone before you go, well, what happened to that? But you've done something different, at your school, particularly in that area of character education. Can you share with our listeners, what you're doing, and I guess maybe reveal some of the secrets to your success?
Yeah, when it comes down to it, I have three goals for our programs. I want our participants to have fun. I want them to enjoy their experiences, to have a good time. I want them to, second, improve at something that they love to do. They're going to spend so much time and energy doing it. I want them to get better at it. We'd say the same for the classroom. And then third, I want to make sure that we help develop better people, not just better athletes. And that's a top priority for me. It's a top priority for our staff. And it did take us a number of years to collectively establish that culture, but that's now who we are. And as a former history teacher, right, I can't shake that bug. I'm a history teacher. I'm a big believer in narrative learning. And I think our coaches, and for every AD, we need to share our stories. Our stories are what help build relationships. It's how we gain trust, and it's how we learn. And I also, and I enjoy a good story. I also enjoy writing. So about 20 years ago, I started writing and sharing weekly character education lessons for our programs. And over time, that library grew and it grew and it grew, and the distribution list grew and it grew and it grew, and started connecting with other schools. So I now have a library of hundreds of these lessons.
Yeah, and I'm very proud to be a part of that distribution list. Every Sunday that comes through. Looking at your own program, with your coaches, how did you make sure that this wasn't seen as just Oh, geez, it's another email from Troy, and delete. How did you make them see the value in it?
Yeah, coaches are busy, right? And it does sometimes feel like we're just throwing more and more at them and asking them to do more and more. Thankfully, our coaches understand that their role is as an educator. And what we do in our programs is teaching and learning, just like a classroom. And as a leader, I believe your actions and your time have to match your values. And so we spend considerable effort making sure our actions are matching our values. So with that said, coaches are busy. They've got a lot going on. We had to create a model that was manageable. We had to create something that was sustainable. And so we ask all of our teams, all of our coaches to spend 10 to 15 minutes per week on a lesson, a very specific lesson that does connect to sport, but it's a teachable moment where we're just talking about how through community, through relationships, through this group, we can grow and learn together in ways beyond physical skills. And so all levels, lower level to varsity. And that 10 to 15 minutes, that's a realistic time. And quite honestly, some teams and groups will go beyond that because of the value that they get from it. There isn't homework. And they can easily fit this into their practice plans. And that has become part of our culture and who we are. But like I said, the program's designed on flexibility. Coaches are allowed to use the day of the week that works best for them. So they pick that day depending on game schedule and training schedule, everything else. And then head coaches are asked to ensure that all levels are completing the program. And then they have the choice whether they want to do this lesson as a big group, like all teams together, or as individual teams. Depends on the sport program, depends on the week. And so that's part of that flexibility I talked about. It can be the head coach, an assistant coach, a team captain, a team member that leads a lesson. And each lesson includes a story that's rooted in some type of learning opportunity, many times a parable. And then there are questions for discussion and reflection on how it connects to them individually, how it connects to their team, how it connects to their greater world. In the past, I'd send an email to our coaches with the specific lesson, and we still do a Sunday newsletter with ideas for those lessons. But this past year, we made a change. We compiled all the lessons that I've written, and then I rewrote them, rewrote questions, gave examples of answers, and now we have a series of workbooks. And it comes from Chasing Influence. And so for those not familiar with Chasing Influence, a book I published in the last year, there are 3 workbooks that now accompany that. And these workbooks are these lessons that I'm talking about, compiled 99. There will be more workbooks to come in the future, but each workbook has 33 of them. And so now coaches choose the lesson they want to lead from the workbook for that season. And we know that if our coaches make the lessons a priority and if they lead them with fidelity, the experience and learning opportunity is that much greater for our student athletes.
Boy, it sounds great. Those workbooks look great too. We'll talk about how to get those before we log off. The last time you were on, you presented about a new way, the way you were compensating, paying your coaches, and you used the word paying for what you value. Obviously, the lessons and the content have value. I mean, there's just no question about it. But from your perspective as the athletic director, um, I guess, have you seen that value played out with your kids and coaches? How do you know that that value is manifesting itself? Does that make sense?
It's a great question because I think sometimes we just do things and blindly hope it's working, right? And I think coaches are really good about digging in to find evidence. How do we know that it's working? It needs to be beyond a feeling. And so our coaches do record the lessons that they lead, and then it's tied to their evaluation and pay. You mentioned a second ago, like we pay for what we value. And this is a really important part of our programs being connected to teaching and learning. And it's a very quantifiable way that we can show this. So we pay our coaches for what we value. And how do we know if the lessons stick and whether they're connecting with our student athletes? The best way is by asking. We ask our student athletes. And so we have end of year exit interviews with our student athletes. And one of the questions is, what did you think of this season's lessons? And then we kind of go in and ask them what they thought. And so that's a really important piece for us to close that evaluation loop to let us know if we're hitting the mark with what our students need, value, and what they relate to. Because we want to use the power of school activities to make the world a better place. That's ultimately what we're trying to do each and every day. Best way to know whether we're doing it, ask the students.
I love that whole concept. And again, way to hit on such an important point. I'll hear, coaches and sometimes ADs, they're talking about, and I'm not trying to throw them under the bus, but they'll say, well, we have to prepare these, student athletes. We have to prepare these kids for college from an athletic standpoint. And I'm thinking, well, actually, no, you don't, because, only 6% are going on, and we don't want to shortchange those kids, but we don't want to focus on preparing 6% and shortchange the 94%. And yeah, we're preparing using sports to prepare kids for the rest of their lives. Great stuff. Troy, again, I'd love to keep you on for longer. We'll have to bring you back, of course. If somebody wants to pick your brain about this particular point, find out more, as well as get their copies of Chasing Influence and the workbooks, how do they do all of those things?
Yeah, we've piloted the lessons for 20 plus years. And so now they're available in workbooks because I was getting questions asking how people could get them. So we put them on Amazon. Really easy way for people to get them. They can find it on Amazon. There's a workbook 1, 2, and 3, 33 lessons in each that address different performance and moral character issues, filled with stories, questions, sample answers, quotes. And that's the best way to also get the book, to get Chasing Influence. And if anyone wants to reach out to me, they can email me, Troy Urdahl. It's Urdahl. So Troy Urdahl at chasing-influence.com. Troy Urdahl at chasing-influence.com.
Boy, 33 lessons in each book. Okay. That's, if your season's, 14, 15 weeks, I'm probably going to do the math wrong, but isn't that like 3 years, worth of lessons? Great idea.
Thank you.
Troy, as always, great to catch up with you. All the best with the rest of winter and the coming spring season. And, hopefully our paths are going to cross beyond just podcasting in the national conference. You got to come down to Florida, or I guess I got to come up to Minnesota. But thanks as always for all you do.
Great to see you. Thank you, Jake.
For our listeners, we appreciate you tuning in as well. Just a reminder, we upload the Zoom recordings of every interview to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We do this every single week, and just about every day we try to share stories and best practices. So hopefully we'll see you again on another episode of the Educational AD Podcast. Wow, great stuff once again. Check out Troy's book, Chasing Influence. Get those workbooks. Follow him on Instagram and Twitter. Before we go, we want you to follow our sponsors as well. If you're not using one of these sponsors, reach out to them, see what they can do for you. Vital Signs Wall of Fame, Snap Raise, Hometown Ticketing, Athletic Surveys, Ohio University's Online Masters, Sideline Interactive, Huddle, Gipper, and Home Campus. Check them out today. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time on the Educational AD Podcast.